Hi guys, welcome back to another nail video. This video is going to be all about how I do my nails with my non-dominant hand, some tips and tricks that I've been using and that I've learned over the past probably a little over 2 years now of me doing my own nails at home. Just some things that I found super helpful to make it easier to use my non-dominant hand. Don't mind this mess going on behind me. This room has basically turned into like a craft room as I prepare for my baby shower. So I ended up doing these little butterfly wing nails. The light is kind of bright. So let me see if you can see it better here. They came out super cute, and I did a little ombre base using eyeshadow once again. Okay, I just had to reset my camera, so if it looks a little different, that's why. But this was actually such an easy design and a lot more beginner friendly than it looks. So I'm going to show you guys how to do a little butterfly wing design. And also something I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention while I was doing my nails was I get a lot of questions asking if you can do the nail design and then cure your nails, which would be the best solution to not being able to use your non-dominant hand. But I would probably not recommend, especially if you're using a lot of color and dark colors on your nails, because once the nail tips are painted, it's going to be harder for the UV LED light or whatever you're using to like penetrate through the nail tip and properly cure the nail. If you let uncured gel extension glue sit on your nails, it can seep out into your cuticle area or the skin around your nails, causing infection, which we obviously don't want. So those are my thoughts and opinions and advice on that topic. But hopefully this video is a little bit helpful in teaching you how to use your non-dominant hand a little better to do your own nails at home. But yeah, I'm gonna try and keep this intro short. Definitely give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy nail content on my channel, and make sure you are subscribed before we even get into it. Okay, so like I mentioned, this video is all about how I use my non-dominant hand to do my opposite hand. So today we're only going to be doing one hand on camera. So starting with prepping my natural nails, I'm using the same bonder and primer that I always use, and this is probably the easiest thing to do with my non-dominant hand. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this primer on, or this is actually bonder, and then I'll go in and put the primer on. Now we're going to do primer. So for this set, I'm going to be using these soft gel tips from Goo Trades. I get this from Amazon, and this is another one of my favorite brands because the nail tips are actually really thin and flexible, yet durable at the same time. And I like how they come on these little like stick things to make it easy to kind of measure them on your fingers. So I'm just sizing out all the nail tips that I need. I got my pinky, my middle, my thumb, my ring finger, and a pointer finger. So off camera really quick, I just filed around all of the cuticle areas of all of the nail tips just so it's a more seamless blend against my natural nail. Now let's get into actually applying them. I'm going to be using this extend glue from Apres. This is the sensitive version. And then I also do have my gooseneck lamp right here that is going to be on this side. You guys would probably be able to see the light shining here. Okay, so if you're going to be applying gel extensions with your non-dominant hand, the biggest thing is just going to be having patience and know that it's going to take you a little more time, a little more effort, a little more concentration, or a lot more concentration. And you'll also probably run into a lot more mistakes or like problems along the way, and that's okay. One thing that I always keep by my side, especially when I'm using my non-dominant hand, is a little thing of alcohol or acetone to clean up any messes before I cure my nails. So you guys will see me use this a lot. I just have a little brush here that I dip in the alcohol, and then I wipe away any of the gel glue that gets on my skin before I cure. That's really important. So to apply the gel extension glue on the nail tip, I'm still using my dominant hand because that hand is free, so might as well use it. And then I just switch hands and use my non-dominant hand to apply the nail tip onto my nail. I'm going to turn the light on first, and then I'm just going to apply this at a 45-degree angle up against my cuticle and watch to see until that gel reaches the nail tip or the tip of my natural nail, and then cure it all the way. I just flash cure using this gooseneck lamp, and then once all the nails are on, I'll cure under the big lamp for 60 seconds. So that's been about 10 seconds. I can feel that it is secured. I'm going to move on to the next one. So honestly, this part is not that difficult either. I feel like the main problem, or the main, I don't want to say problem, but like the hardest part about using your non-dominant hand when it comes to doing your nails is painting, in my opinion, and like the little designs that you want to do, especially if you want to do something like really intricate or just like very detailed. That is where a lot of complications arise. But for that, I always make sure that I choose a design that I know I can do with my non-dominant hand. And most of the time, I usually start with my non-dominant hand so that if I'm not able to do a design with that hand, then I just won't do it. Instead of doing this like real intricate design using my dominant hand, and then when I have to use my non-dominant hand, I can't do it. So I kind of like double check that I could do it first. Now that all the nail tips are applied, I'm gonna put my hand under the big lamp for 60 seconds. So these nails are stiletto and I want them to be coffin shaped, so I'm just using my nail tip cutter to cut off just a little bit at the tip of the nail because I still want them to be pretty long. So filing your nails could be one of the most challenging things when you're using your non-dominant hand. And my best tip would be to move your hand more than you're actually moving the file with your non-dominant hand. So for instance, I'm going to be filing my thumb, but instead of trying to move the nail file with my non-dominant hand, I'm going to move my hand, my dominant hand. So I'm going to be moving the nail up and down the file versus moving the file up and down the nail, if that makes sense. And that has helped me so much. So to file, I'm just gonna get the edges a little bit. And then I'm gonna flip the nail file to get the actual edge of the nail. And the same thing, I'm just moving my actual hand against the file and keeping the nail file in place. And I'm just gonna make sure it's about the same length. I think this one's still a little longer, so file a little bit more. And obviously, if you do want to get better at using your non-dominant hand, you're gonna have to practice using it as well. So don't be scared to practice because the more you do it, the easier it'll get. I feel like now it's not extremely difficult for me to use my non-dominant hand because I've been practicing for like over 2 years now on how to use it. So I kind of built up the strength and kind of just like the muscle memory to know how to use my left hand. But I know it definitely can be difficult as a beginner. And I feel like I kind of applied this thumb a little bit crooked. I definitely did, but it's okay. And I'm just gonna repeat that for all the nails, making sure they're all even with my left hand. And next I'm going to buff my nails using this little cute nail buffer. Buffing's a little bit easier with your non-dominant hand because you don't have to be like as precise as when you're filing to get like the perfect shape and stuff. I'm just buffing to remove the shine and kind of soften up the nail tips so that they're not so spiky and pointy and they don't scratch you. But you definitely can just be a little bit more free-handed when you're trying to buff your nails. If you're using a buffer like this, if you're using like a sanding band with an e-file, definitely want to be a little bit more careful, but especially as a beginner, I definitely recommend using a nail buffer versus an e-file to do this step. Because it does the same exact thing. The e-file may be a little bit faster, but don't hurt yourself trying to be quick. Just take your time. And you could also just use that same technique of moving your hand instead of the nail buffer. Like I'm doing now, I'm just moving my hand against it to buff out my nails. Okay, so now we're gonna get into this nail design, which is supposed to mimic butterfly wings, and it's actually way easier than it looks in my opinion. I'm just gonna go ahead and refill my little liquid jar with some more alcohol. I use the 70% isopropyl alcohol just to make sure I have enough and I don't have to refill as I go, because I definitely will be using this. And then for my base color, I am using this color called Lilac Madness from Nail Addict. Actually, they rebranded and their name is now Nail Reserve. I think I still have a coupon code with them. I'll leave their link down below. They do have really, really pretty colors and they have great color payoff and consistency. So a lot of the colors that I use are from Nail Reserve. Okay, so I always like to use this little hand rest to keep my hand a little more stable when I'm painting my nails. This bottle is a hot mess, but when I am about to start painting, I'm gonna make sure the brush doesn't have too much paint on it. I'd rather have a little bit and add as I go than have too much and have like a big mess all over my nails. So I just have what I think I'm gonna need for my pinky, and starting with my pinky, I like to not get too close to the cuticle at first. I like to just drag it down and kind of do the cuticle area last. And like I said earlier, you just have to have a little more patience and just concentrate a little harder. Okay, so that wasn't too bad, but you guys can see I did flood my sidewall a little bit, so that is where this alcohol comes in. I'm just taking this little brush here and it's soaked in the alcohol, and I'm just gonna rub that polish off of my skin and make sure it's nice and clean. I have a little bit on this side as well, so I'm gonna do the same thing over here. And then boom, that nail looks perfect. I don't have anything on my skin, and I'm gonna move on to the next nail. I'm very, very careful around my cuticle area, but like I said, if you do get it on the cuticle skin, you can just wipe it off with some alcohol so that it's nice and clean and nice and neat around your cuticles. I got just a little bit right here, and then I always get some on this side because it's kind of hard to see over my hand, but there we go. Clean it up, no problem. I'm just gonna repeat that for the rest of my nails. Okay, this is one coat. I'm gonna go in with my second coat now. Okay, so 2 layers of that purple polish are on, and for this nail design, I brought out the eyeshadow once again to do that little airbrush design or whatever. I really want to invest in an airbrush machine, but for today, we're gonna be using our eyeshadow palette once again. This is a really, really easy design or technique to do with your non-dominant hand. So when you are deciding what design you wanna do, definitely choose something that you know for sure you can get done with your non-dominant hand and that it will look good no matter what. So for this design, I'm using these 2 shimmers as well as this darker pink shimmer. And I'm just gonna go in and like wing it. Actually, I'm going to file this off. I have like a little weird bump on the end of my nail right there and right here. Also, another thing, if you are using eyeshadow as like an airbrush hack, don't wipe off the sticky layer of polish after your nails are cured. So right now they have like a little bit of a tacky layer, and that is going to help the eyeshadow stick to the nail. So I'm just patting these eyeshadows on my nail, and I kind of did the other hand in like a diagonal design. So that's what I'm going to try to mimic on this hand as well. Oh, there's a big piece of hair right there. I feel like it's a little bit hard to see that on camera with my bright lights and stuff, but it looks really pretty. It's just like a subtle pink shimmer. And now I'm just adding this darker color to the very tips of my nail. Okay, so now that I have my little ombre going, I am going to use a thin black nail art polish to do my little butterfly wing design, and then I'll be using a thin little white polish to create the little dots for the butterfly wings. And this part is also way easier than it looks because nothing has to be perfect. Remember that. Nothing has to be perfect. Butterfly wings are all different designs and shapes, so you can kind of be a little more playful with this design. It's definitely not as intricate as it kind of looks, and you guys will see as I do it. So I am just going to take this polish. Once again, make sure I don't have too much polish on the actual brush. And now I'm just going to kind of wing it, if you will, and create my little butterfly wings. I'm gonna do like a bunch of different curved lines, and I kind of want them to be a little thicker, so I'm going to go over it until I like the thickness of them. And I'm just making sure that I'm keeping my non-dominant hand as steady as it can and just really focusing on what I'm doing and how I'm moving my hand. So I'm almost done creating all the little black lines for my butterfly wings, but one more thing I wanted to mention when using your non-dominant hand to do a design is to make sure that hand is also stable on something. So the whole time that I'm painting with my non-dominant hand, which is the hand holding the polish, it's resting on this hand rest as well. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I have this hand constantly on this hand rest to keep it stable while I'm painting and drawing my lines, especially if you're doing like line work or like anything intricate. Definitely keep your hand stable to get a better result. So I just have to do this pinky, and then I have to do my thumb, and then I'm gonna cure this and then add the white dots. I should have started with my pinky because any second now I'm going to smear all the black I already did on the other hands. So I'm trying to be really careful. Lastly, I'm just using this white polish to add the little dot details on the wings. My hand is definitely shaking as I'm trying to do these dots, so they're not coming out that perfect, but that's okay. And then I'm gonna cure that again for 60 seconds. I'm applying some cuticle oil to finish off the nails. And now we have our full set of butterfly nails. These actually came out so cute. If I wanted to nitpick, I could point out so many things that are wrong with this hand, or not wrong, but just like a little messier, not as cute as my left hand because I use my non-dominant hand. But overall, they came out really cute. I took my time, concentrated a little bit more, and I was able to pretty much replicate the design that I wanted. And I know you guys can do the same thing. Just be patient, apply a little more effort, a little more concentration, and you can literally do anything you put your mind to. But I love these so much. I've been wanting to do butterfly nails like these forever since I started doing my nails, and I recently came across some butterfly inspo on Instagram and decided I was gonna do it for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you like this nail design. Is this something that you would wear? Actually, if you watched to the end of this video, leave a purple heart emoji and a butterfly emoji in the comments section below. And also let me know if the video was helpful. And yeah, make sure you are subscribed if you're not already, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye.